So, day 5 of the plan. YouTube's messing up. There's a screen time thing set on the laptop, and so it has some trouble if the videos getting published. So I'm trying to get this published, but at the end of today, it is Saturday. It snowed 2 days ago, and the entire yard's pretty much already melted. So yeah, we're starting in Genesis chapter 17. We read 13 through 16, 13, 14, 15, 16, 4 chapters. So it's chapter 17, covenant circumcision. So let's get started. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him, saying, I am God Almighty, live in my presence, and be blameless. I will set up my covenant between me and you, and I will multiply you greatly. Then Abram fell face down, and God spoke with him. As for me, here's my covenant with you. You will become the father of many nations. Your name will no longer be Abram. Your name will be Abraham, for I will make you the father of many nations. I'll make you extremely fruitful, and I'll make nations and kings come over you. I will confirm my covenant that is between me and you and your future offspring through their generations. It is a permanent covenant to be your God and the God of your offspring after you. And you and the future offspring I'll give of the land where you are residing, all the land of Canaan. As permanent possession, I'll be their God. God also said to Abraham, As for you and your offspring after you throughout the generations are to keep my covenant. This is my covenant between me and you to keep. Every one of your males must be circumcised. You must circumcise the flesh of your foreskin to serve as a sign of the covenant between me and you. Throughout your generations, every male among you be circumcised at 8 days old. Every male born in your household or purchased from any foreigner and not your offspring, but never born in a household or purchased, he must be circumcised. My covenant will mark your flesh as a permanent covenant. If any male is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, that man will be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. So God said to Abraham, As for your wife Sarai, do not call her Sarai, for Sarah will be her name. I will bless her indeed. I'll give you a son by her. I will bless her, and she'll produce nations, kings, and people will come from her. Abraham fell face down. Then he laughed and said to himself, Can a child be born to a 100-year-old man? Can Sarah, a 90-year-old woman, give birth? So Abraham said to God, If only Ishmael were acceptable to you. But God said, No, your wife Sarah will bear a son, and you'll name him Isaac. I will confirm my covenant with him as a permanent covenant for his future offspring. As for Ishmael, I have heard you. I'll certainly bless him. I'll make him fruitful and multiply him greatly. He will father 12 tribal leaders, and I will make him into a great nation. But I will confirm my covenant with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear. See you at this time next year. When he finished talking with him, God withdrew from Abraham. So Abraham took his son Ishmael, those born in his household were purchased, every male among the members of Abraham's household, and he circumcised the flesh of the foreskin on that very day, just as God had said to him. Abraham was 99 years old when the flesh of his foreskin was circumcised, and the son Ishmael was 13 years old when the flesh of his foreskin was circumcised. On that same day, Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised. All the men of his household, whether born in the household or purchased from a foreigner, were circumcised with him. Abraham's three visitors. The Lord appeared to Abraham at the oaks of Mamre while he was sitting in the entrance of his tent during the heat of the day. He looked up and saw 3 standing near him. When he saw them, he ran from the entrance of the tent to meet them, bowed to the ground, and said, My Lord, if I have found favor with you, please do not go on past your servant. But let a little water be brought, so that you may wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree. I will bring a bite of bread, so that you may strengthen yourselves. This is why you have passed your servant's way. Later you can continue on. Yes, they replied. Do as you have said. So Abraham hurried to the tent and said to Sarah, Quick, knead 3 measures of fine flour and make bread. Abraham ran to the herd and got a tender choice calf. He gave it to a young man who hurried to prepare it. And Abraham took curds and milk, as well as the calf that he had prepared, and set them before the men. He served them and ate under the tree. Sarah laughs. Where's your wife, Sarah? They asked him. There in the tent, he answered. The Lord said, I'll certainly come back to you in about a year's time, and your wife Sarah will have a son. Sarah was listening to the entrance of the tent behind them. Abraham and Sarah were old and getting on it in years. Sarah had passed the age of childbearing, so she laughed to herself. After I am worn out and my Lord is old, I'll have delight. But the Lord said to Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, Can I really have a baby when I'm old? Is anything impossible for the Lord? At the appointed time I'll come back to you. In about a year she'll have a son. Sarah denied it. I did not laugh, she said, because she was afraid. But he replied, No, you did laugh. Abraham's plea for Sodom. Men got up there and looked out over Sodom, and Abraham was walking with them to see them off. Then the Lord said, Should I hide what I'm about to do from Abraham? Abraham is to become a great and powerful nation, and all the nations of earth will be blessed through him. For I have chosen him so that he will command his children and his house after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just. This is how the Lord will fulfill to Abraham what he promised him. Then the Lord said, The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is immense, and their sin is extremely serious. I will go down and see if what they have done justifies the cry that has come up to me. If not, I will find out. The men turned from there and went toward Sodom, while Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Abraham stepped forward and said, Will you really sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away instead of sparing the place for the sake of the 50,000 for the 50 righteous people who are in it? You cannot possibly do such thing, to kill the righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. You cannot possibly do that. Won't the judge of the whole earth do what is just? The Lord said, If I found 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sake. Then Abraham answered, Since I have ventured to speak to my Lord, even though I am dust and ashes, suppose the 50 righteous lack 5, they destroy the whole city for lack of 5? He replied, I will not destroy it if I find 45 there. He spoke to me again, 45 there. Suppose 40 are there, found there. He answered, I will not do it on account of 40. Then he said, My Lord, not be angry, and I will speak further. Suppose there are 30 found there. He answered, I will not do it if 30 are there. Then he said, Since I ventured to speak to my Lord, suppose 20 are found there. He replied, I will not destroy it on account of 20. Then he said, Let my Lord not be angry. Then he spoke one more time. Suppose 10 are found there. He answered, I will not destroy it on account of 10. When the Lord is speaking with Abraham, he departed, and Abraham returned to his place. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. The two angels entered Sodom in the evening as Lot was sitting in Sodom's gateway. When Lot saw them, he got up to meet them. He bowed to, with his face to the ground and said, "My lords, turn aside from your servant's house, wash your feet, and spend the night. Then you can get up early and go on your way." "No," they said, "we would rather spend the night in the square." But he urged them so strongly that they followed him and went into his house. He prepared a feast and baked unleavened bread for them, and they ate. Before they went to bed, the men of the city of Sodom, both young and old, the whole population, surrounded the house. They called out to Lot and said, Where are the men who came to you tonight? Send them out to us so that we can have sex with them." Lot went out to them in the entrance and shut the door behind them. He said, "Don't do this evil, my brothers. Look, I've got two daughters who haven't been intimate with a man. I bring them out to you, and you can do whatever you want to them. However, don't do anything to these men, because they have come under the protection of my roof." "Get out of my way," they said, adding, This one came here as an alien, but he acting like a judge. Now we'll do more harm to you than to them." They put pressure on Lot and came up to break down the door. But the angels reached out, brought Lot But the angels reached out, brought Lot into the house with them, and shut the door. They struck the men who were at the entrance of the house, both young and old, with blindness, so that they were unable to find the entrance. Then the angels said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else in here, a son-in-law, your sons and daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get him out of this place, for we're about to destroy this place, because the outcry against this people is so great before the Lord that the Lord has sent us to destroy it." So Lot went out and spoke to his son-in-law, who were going to marry his daughters. "Get up," he said. Sorry if I just made you yawn. When you're speaking or reading out loud, it makes you yawn because it means you're not getting in enough air. And so I've been yawning quite a bit. It's the first time on camera. Okay, so the Lord has sent us to destroy it. So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law who were going to marry his daughters. "Get up," he said. "Get out of this place, for the Lord is about to destroy the city." But his son-in-law thought he was joking. At daybreak, the angels urged Lot on. "Get up, take your wife and your two daughters who are here, or you will be swept away in the punishment of the city." But he hesitated. Because of the Lord's compassion for him, the men grabbed his wife's hand, and the hands of two daughters. They brought him out and left him outside the city. As soon as the angels got them out, one of them said, "Run for your lives. Don't look back and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Run to the mountains, or you'll be swept away." But Lot said to him, "No, my lords, please, if your servant has indeed found favor with you, and you have shown me great kindness by saving my life, but I can't run to the mountains. The disaster will overtake me, and I'll die. Look, this town is close enough to me to flee. It is a small place. Please let me run to it. It's only a small place, isn't it, so that I can survive?" And he said to him, "All right, I'll grant you your request about this matter, and two will not demolish the town you mentioned. Hurry up, run to it, for I cannot do anything until you get there." Therefore, the name of the city is Zoar. The sun had risen over the land where Lot reached Zoar. Then the sky of the Lord rained on Sodom and Gomorrah, burning sulfur from the Lord. He demolished these cities, the entire plain, all the inhabitants of the cities, whatever grew on the ground. But Lot's wife looked back and became a pillar of salt. Early in the morning, Abraham went to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down towards Sodom and Gomorrah and all the land of the plain, and saw that smoke was going up from the land like smoke of a furnace. So it was, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, You remember Abraham had brought the Lot out of the middle of the upheaval when he demolished the cities where Lot had lived. The origins of Moab and Ammon. Lot departed from Zoar and lived in the mountains along his two rivers, because he was afraid to live in Zoar. Instead, he and his two daughters lived in a cave. The firstborn said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man in the land to sleep with us at the custom of the land. Come with us at the come, let his father drink wine so that we can sleep with him, preserve our father's line." So they got their father to drink wine at night. The firstborn came and slept with her father. He did not know when she lay down or when she got up. The next day, the firstborn said to the younger, "Look, I slept with my father last night. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight so that you can sleep with him and you can preserve our father's line." That night, they again got their father to drink wine, and the younger one slept. He did not know when she lay down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. Firstborn gave birth to a son and named him Moab. He is the father of Moabites of today. The younger also gave birth to a son, and she named him Ben-Ami. He is the father of the Ammonites today. Sarah rescued from Abimelech. From there, Abram traveled to the region of Negev and settled between Kadesh and Shur. While he was staying in Gerar, Abraham said, I got text. Okay, so Sarah rescued from Amalek. From there, Abraham traveled to Negev, settled between Kadesh and Shur. While staying in Gerar, Abraham said to his wife Sarah, "She's my sister." So King Amalek of Gerar had Sarah brought to him. But God came to Amalek in a dream by the night and said to him, "You are about to die because the woman you have taken, for she is a married woman." Now Abimelech had not approached her, so he said, "Lord, would you destroy a nation even though it is innocent? Didn't he himself say to me, 'She is my sister,' and she herself said, 'He is my brother'? I did this with a clear conscience and clean hands." Then God said to him in his dream, "Yes, I know that you've done this with a clear conscience. I will also kept you from sinning against me. Therefore, I'll have not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for she is a prophet, and will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, know that you will certainly die, and all who are yours." Early in the morning, Amalek got up, called his servants together, and personally told them all these things. The men were terrified. Then Amalek called Abraham and said to him, "What have you done to us? How did I sin against you, that you brought such enormous guilt on me, my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done." Amalek also asked Abraham, "What made you do this?" Abraham replied, "I thought there is absolutely no fear of God in this place. They will kill me because of my life, because she really is my sister. The daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. So when God had me wander from my father's house, I said to her, 'Show me your loyalty wherever we go, and say about me, he is my brother.'" Then Abimelech took flocks and herds and males and female slaves, gave them to Abraham, and returned to his wife Sarah to him. Now it said, "Look, my land is before you. Settle wherever you want." And I said to Sarah, "Look, I am your brother, 1,000 pieces of silver. It's a verification of your honor to all who are with you. You are fully vindicated." Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Amalek, his wife, and his female slaves, so they could bear children. For the Lord had completely closed all the wombs. And in Amalek's household, it counted Sarah, Abraham's wife. Okay, that's all for today. I was in a bit of a rush. I'm not able to go over it. So remember, God loves you, and goodbye.